Thanks, bro.
Where's Lily?
Sorry? I somewhere around here.
How many skin you have? 11.
Today.
Yeah.
How many team?
No, skin.
Skin sorry for now.
Really banyak. You buy or you get?
I both lah.
Both. Which one is expensive?
Nah, tak ada
Semua sama.
No, it's nothing to do. Oh, you got streaming it? Are you streaming it? You do intro on yourself.
Really get to the Wi-Fi.
I'm Wi-Fi right now. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game for today. It will be between Knights of Hallucination as well as Friends Gaming. We are now moving into the pick and ban phase for both teams, as Friends Gaming elected to be on the Radiant side, whereas Knights of Hallucination have chosen to go for the second pick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Right now, it looks like Friends Gaming will just start things off with the Ancient Apparition ban, not wanting to have that ultimate of his, which is the Ice Blast, very, very annoying, which it negates any HP regeneration. And of course, if you fall below the threshold, you will shatter. And as a quick response, Knights of Hallucination have decided to remove the Huskar out from the picture. So interestingly, Friends Gaming choosing to ban supports, whereas Knights of Hallucinations, it seems that they've got some target bans going on here with that Huskar.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Moving into just under 2 minutes in the reserve time, Friends Gaming yet to ban out the second hero for this first ban phase. Still plenty of strong teamfight heroes, and I was just about to say Elder Titan, but instead Friends Gaming have decided to ban out the Silencer.
Remaining.
Now it falls into the hands of Night Hallucinations
5 seconds remaining.
to go for their second ban. Will it be a
Reserve
tiny,
time.
or will they keep banning these hard carries? And it looks like the Vengeful Spirit will be the hero that is banned out by Knights of Hallucination. And finally, we move into the first pick phase for both teams, as Friends Gaming will have the onus of the first pick for today's game.
10 seconds remaining.
It looks like they're going to prioritize the Lion as their first pick. A very versatile support. Doesn't really need much gold, just needs levels. And of course, not to forget that Hex as well as Impale. Two very reliable disables. And when he's level 6, that Finger of Death can do quite a bit of damage. And as a response, Knights of Hallucination have picked up the Omni Knight for their first pick of the game. Very useful for that Repel, which removes any magic damage, 100% resistance to magic damage for 12 seconds at level 4. And of course, the Guardian Angel, which grants immunity from physical damage for up to 6, 7, and 8 seconds.
Reserve time.
Let's see what they're going to pair up this Omni Knight with. It's likely going to be another support, as that Omni Knight will probably be the position 5, buying all the couriers, wards, as well as smokes. Popular heroes still in the pool, Rikimaru, Bounty Hunter, all still available. unless Knights of Hallucination decide to pick up one of their core heroes early in the pick phase. Just about 1 minute 30 seconds into their reserve time. And it will be another support as predicted, Omni Knight and Jakiro. That will be the duo, unless they're planning to run the Jakiro mid, which I highly doubt. Useful of course for the Ice Path, which is a long range disable similar to a Fissure, but there are no real pathing blocking. And of course Liquid Fire, which pierces spell immunity and goes for the attack slow as well as the burn damage over time. We're now waiting for Friends Gaming's second pick, likely to be a support as well, to combine up with that line. The Wisp still in the pool. Again, Rikimaru, Bounty Hunter, popular picks in the current meta game. Elder Titan as well, still in the pool. And they'll go for the very tanky Ogre Magi. That Bloodlust of his will of course be a bonus to any of the right clickers that they decide to pick up in this lineup. But as things stand, Lion and Ogre Magi, two supports that don't really need much gold. Very level dependent though. You want to get that Lion to his max level Hex and Impale as soon as you can. Similarly, Omni Knight, you want that level 6 really early, really fast. Jakiro, he's off okay with just level 4 or 5 in early game. Ice Path as well as Liquid Fire will be more than enough to dissuade any pushes under the tower. And for the ban phase, in the second ban phase, Friends Gaming will remove out that Windrunner. Versatile hero, able to go on that mid lane or in the off lane as well, and able to provide decent right click damage once he builds up into the Aghanim's Scepter. And we're just waiting for Mr. D, the captain, the drafter of Knights of Hallucination, to make his decision on the fourth ban.
Reserve time.
And he will choose to ban out the Slark for his ban. I'm sorry I missed that earlier on. So that's going to be a very effective teamfight right clicker that he's banned right after the picking phase. So the follow-up ban will be onto the Ursa. Huge Roshan control as well as some right-click potential being taken out of the pool here by Knights of Hallucination, not wanting to give any heroes that can take advantage of that Bloodlust over on the side of Friends Gaming.
10 seconds remaining.
As a response, Friends Gaming will then remove the Sven. So interestingly enough, both these teams still need hard carries, but they haven't picked it up. Instead, they've been banning this right-click carries. But of course, Knights of Hallucination will now be picking up their cause.
10 seconds remaining.
It remains to be seen what they want to pick up for themselves.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Admiral Conquer.
And they've gone for the Conquer. So this could be a mid Conquer. Could alternatively a position for Conquer with the Jakiro in the off lane, but I highly doubt it. So the Conquer gonna go mid. That ultimate of his, the Ghost Ship, able to provide the good team fight control as well as the Coco Rum, which negates any damage done to an allied hero.
5 seconds remaining.
Kanka is a very hard hero to go up against in the mid lane. Not many heroes counter him, and he's able to farm up, of course, with that Tidebringer. As a response, Friends Gaming picking up that Tiny. So that is one hero that can, of course, take advantage of the Bloodlust over on the Ogre Magi, but probably want to pair it up as well with another range right click. But right now, Knights of Hallucination will have their safe laner as well as the off laner yet to be picked up.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Wraith King.
And they've decided to go for the Wraith King.
Team pick.
very interesting pick for that safe lane, but of course that reincarnation can come into handy. Able to resurrect essentially a free Aegis, but of course one thing to note is that level 1 cooldown is 260 seconds. However, once he gets level 3 in that reincarnation, he'll be able to get it up to under a minute. And an immediate pickup of the Bat Rider here from Friends Gaming, so that's the initiation that they're looking for. Bat Rider likely to go in the off lane, and if he's not able to get his levels there, able to transition into the jungle once he's got levels in his Sticky Napalm as well as Firefly.
10 seconds.
The Flaming Lasso is of course what makes him so valuable, able to drag a hero out of the picture, so probably going to target the Omni Knight, who will be very, very potent in the team fights. Interestingly enough, both heroes have not picked up an agility hero, instead opting for strength as well as intelligence, but right now Knights of Hallucination will go for their final ban. They need an offlaner, and at the same time Friends Gaming need a mid hero. Invoker still in the pool, Drow Ranger as well still in the pool, and they've decided to go for that Invoker ban just as predicted. And right now it is on the hands of Friends Gaming. They look to probably ban a strong offlaner. Timbersaw, of course, another hero that's very good in that offlane, but should Knights of Hallucination pick up the Timbersaw, that means they've got 4 melee heroes up against a Tiny, and that's not something you want with a craggy exterior coming out from the Stone Giant.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
1 minute and 25 seconds in reserve time right now for Friends Gaming. The captain, Ancient Helper, has decided to ban out that Timbersaw, so that's another offlaner that's been taken out of the picture. And right now, over on the side of Friends Gaming, who will they choose for their mid hero? I'm assuming mid hero that the Bat Rider is going off lane, but Bat Rider also can go in the mid lane, get some fast levels, maybe a 12-minute Blink Dagger for staff, but it depends to be seen, as this final pick will round out their
5
lineup.
seconds remaining.
That Tiny could also go mid with a Bat Rider offlane, and meaning that Friends Gaming could pick up a Luna or a Drow Ranger, depending on how they want to go about things. Just one hard carry left remaining. Outworld Devourer, another hero that can also sustain himself and take advantage of the Bloodlust attack speed. But right now, just under 1 minute remaining for Friends Gaming for their final pickup. And they're taking their time with this pick. And they've decided to go for the Templar Assassin, so that changes things up a little bit. Templar Assassin mid, Tiny safe lane with a Bat Rider over onto that off lane role. And Anti-Mage will be the respawn, so we're going to see some heavy farming in this game, I think. Anti-Mage, Wraith King, Kunkka, Omni Knight, 4 melee heroes up against a Tiny. It'll be very interesting to see how the picks come out in the team fights, but right now we jump straight into the game. And over on the side of the Radiant, of course, we have got Friends Gaming. Got Costata on that Bat Rider, Ancient Help on the Templar Assassin, Venom Killer onto that Lion, Apex on the Ogre Magi, and Headhunter onto that Tiny. Also over on the Dire side, 4th June will be playing on that Anti-Mage King ones. The support onto the Omni Knight, Double Vin on the Wraith King, and Mr. D on the Kunkka. Last but not least, McGeezax onto that Jakiro. Looks like they're gonna see if they can secure the bounty rune early in the game. Friends Gaming a little bit slow to come out of their own base. Well, 73 Roshan kills, 1 first blood,
30 seconds
so
to battle.
we know he's a very good player over onto that Anti-Mage. And right now just looking to secure the bounty runes. Both teams not looking to clash early. Level 1 isn't when they want to fight. They want to fight when they got at least a couple of items up on their mid hero, at least 1 tier 3 item onto the carry hero. As the foghorn sounds, we have 5 seconds into the creep spawn of the first game for today at the Miri Esports League. And there you go, both bounty runes being picked up. No real clash coming out of it, and they're just gonna fall back into the farming pattern. It'll be very interesting to see if the Omni Knight will stick mid or the Jakiro will stick mid to give some support over onto that Kunkka, but it looks like it will be a 2-1-2 coming out here from Knights of Hallucination, whereas similarly a 2-1-2 also on the side of Friends Gaming. Just a little bit out of range there, almost being able to spot it out, but unfortunately he will have his own on the high ground. A very early pull coming out here from the Lion, which probably means that Tiny will be a little bit out of position right now. They're seeing that there's no quick backup coming. Yeah, he's gonna have to last hit under his own tower. Not something you want to do early in the game. You don't have the best damage. Perhaps Lion should have waited a couple more waves until Tiny is at least level 2 or 2.5, but immediately after that comes a response from the side of the Dire team. Just blocking that up a little bit. However, this means that the lane will push in favor of the Dire team, and it's not something that you really want, especially when you've got 2 ranged creeps here. So the Anti-Mage on the off lane will actually be able to farm up quite a bit, but as things stand, top in the last hit is of course that Templar Assassin, 6 for 3 right now, and Kunkka not too far behind, 6 for 1, so both mids are getting the farm that they need, playing really well right now.
Missing middle.
Lane will push a little bit onto the side of the Radiant as Dire team does have 2 range creeps pushing up. So Templar Assassin will be more than happy to take these right clicks and look to deny as much as he can. Top lane, some pressure coming in onto that tier 1 tower as the Ogre Magi Bat Rider dual lane trying to apply some pressure onto that Wraith King, not giving him space to breathe, not giving him space to farm. Still only level 2, but of course it is only 2 minutes into the game, so he's doing alright. Does have that Omni Knight with the Purification to heal him up. Also, once he gets levels into the Vampiric Aura, he'll be able to sustain himself in the jungle. Interestingly, no one contesting the bottom rune as it's still up for grabs. Instead, these 2 supports have decided to just try to find some space and harass and punish these pulls as much as they can. It looks like Anti-Mage is doing relatively good in that offlaner, 11-2 right now, whereas over on the Wraith King it's only 4 for 1, so he's not doing too good. Anti-Mage definitely the better late game carry right now for Knights of Hallucination, but of course they've got to be careful of that Tiny. Tiny will be able to push the base really fast once the Aghanim Scepter is completed. 3 minutes into the game, no real aggression as both teams are looking to just farm up, being very passive right now in a 2-1-2 lineup. As looks some aggression coming up, Impale as well to follow up, but looks like Jakiro is just a little bit too tanky. And they're not able to capitalize onto that misplay. Ogre Magi already out of mana, so he's got to go back, try to regen up some mana. Courier still walking, 3 minutes into the game, report please. Nice path coming out, just clipping the Tiny a little bit. But Anti-Mage slowly climbing up that last hit, 16 for 3 right now, doing really well. Does have the Quelling Blade to help him, as well as a Poor Man's Shield to just help block off some of the right clicks coming in from the creeps. We'll probably be looking to get into the fast Battle Fury, but of course it remains to be seen. And looking at the net worth, the Templar Assassin comfortably in the lead, 2.2k gold on him, whereas the Anti-Mage is up next with 1.9k gold. Again, they're just looking to harass each other out, just look to try to deplete out the regeneration, but already the Anti-Mage has picked up the Ring of Health, so he's able to sustain inside the lane just a little bit more. We'll have that +7 passive regeneration. And over the mid lane, looks like they're going to have a go on Kunkka right now. Torrent coming in, will actually hit the Templar Assassin, and Jakiro TPing in just in the right time, saving Mr. D from any further aggression, as Templar Assassin will cop a few hits from the tower as well. So an okay gank, forcing the Kunkka back. This gives a bit more space for the Templar Assassin, but of course she is also out of bottle charges. We'll have 2 tangos to just heal up a little bit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So Rune being picked up by the Jakiro, so he's going to see if he can scout anything out, but very unlikely that anything's going to come out of this, as all heroes on this game are just so spread out right now across the map.
Dire's middle tower
Flame Break
is
coming in,
under
Wraith
attack.
King, getting the Wraith Fire Blast onto Costera, Sticky Napalm, 3 charges on him. Let's see if Costera one turns it around, but no, they'll just go back into the farming mode. As we hit the 5-minute marker, 0 kills. But of course, this is to be expected when you've got an anti-mage in the game. Knights of Hallucination, we want to give as much space as possible to that anti-mage, looking to try to farm him up as soon as possible. Get that Battle Fury up running before the 15-minute mark, and then he'll be fine and daddy. Oh, that's a good Ice Path coming onto 2. 4th June onto that anti-mage, not looking to follow up on the aggression. Tiny, no mana, so he's got to be careful. Does have full bottle charges though, so things are looking good for him. 6 minutes into the game, about to hit the first night cycle. Again, still 0 for 0. We're looking at a very passive farming game, and both teams are very much aware this is a single elimination game, so they do not want to make any mistakes. They want to play it as safe as possible. Radiant team more than happy to have that Templar Assassin and the Tiny farming up. Dire team more than happy to have the Anti-Mage and Wraith King farm up. So it looks like this will be the pattern for the next few games as we look for some aggression coming out here in the top lane. Apex will be coming to pay. Purification coming up for some good damage, but he's just so tanky. One more stun coming out. There you go. Comes off cooldown. Apex in a lot of trouble. Will into the first blood. Good crit coming out. One more right click, and that's the first blood coming in onto the hands of the Wraith King, killing off that Ogre Magi, punishing the positioning of that Ogre Magi a little bit too far from his tower, and backup was a bit too slow on the way. So finally we see our first kill just before 7-minute mark, as Anti-Mage doing Anti-Mage things, is farming away over onto this bottom lane. How close is he? Well, he's going for the power treads first, about 7 minutes, so he should hit that Battle Fury at this rate at about 15 minutes 30 seconds. Let's see if I'm correct with that prediction. Templar Assassin, Aquila Boots, Fairy Fire Wand. I'm expecting him to pick up a Blightstone before he builds into either a Yasha or Blink Dagger. But of course, Ancient Helper doing very well on the mid lane, leading the game in terms of net worth. So he's doing more than fine. Refraction, of course, helping out against Kunkka's Tidebringer. Missing that Torrent slightly. And looks like Ancient Helper going for a bit of aggression. Trading hits left and right, efficiently trading hits, might I say, against the Kunkka. Top lane. Double Vin and once, 2 melee heroes. They've got to be very careful right now, as the Bat Rider is very close to level 6, so we'll have that Flaming Lasso, but of course he will want some backup. Not able to kill with just 2 heroes. Probably needs +1, and as I say, that Wraith Fire Blast coming into costing the right now. Purification Sword, that's a lot of damage coming out of him, but of course Bat Rider able to just escape from that with the Firefly. Going over the trees, and it looks like the Dire team will not pursue the aggression. And we're seeing a TP coming in onto the back lines. Apex, let's see what he's able to do with this. Oh, there is vision of him coming in, so they're well aware of that. Pings coming out. So that's about 50 gold wasted onto that support. Not something you want to do, not the most ideal use of gold when you already have Slav. Oh, and as I say that, good Avalanche toss combination. Fire Blast coming out, but the Ice Path just coming in time. Ignite as well. 4th June will have to pay for this price for this. It does have the blink, but instead he's being hexed. One more Impale coming out to block him off, and nope, he'll just blink out. TP's coming in. A good 2-man Ice Path once again as Kunkka decides to come in to join the fight. Will he get the Torrent hit on 2? Yes, he gets it onto the line. Avalanche coming in, just saving him in time. The Wraith King is held in place right now. Venom Killer is just so Tidebringer gets the kill onto the line, and right now the Radiant team are trying to reinitiate as the Templar Assassin has TP'd into this game. Double Vin trying to pursue. He's got Reincarnation, so he's more than happy to tank a few of these last hits. Firebreak as well coming out, so that's the first Reincarnation. They'll be slowed down. A 2-man Ice Path once again to be brought down super low, as finally the Anti-Mage comes in, and that's going to be a cleanup. 2 for nothing, 3 for nothing as the Sentry Ward is plopped down. Templar Assassin not being able to hide in that meld, and they're going to push this. Continue the aggression, get one more kill onto the Ogre Magi. Knights of Hallucination doing really well, and they're going to push down this tier 1 tower onto the bottom lane. So that being said, it's a 4 for nothing with a good exchange in the hands of Knights of Hallucination. They didn't pay a single price for that, but look at the gold coming in for them after that team fight. So that's going to be looking fine and dandy right now for Knights of Hallucination. A good team fight, as well as a tower being destroyed over and that bottom lane. So right now Raiden will have to be careful if they want to farm in their own jungle. There's no easy support coming in with the TPs. They've got to only TP onto that second tower before they're able to provide any real backup to any heroes in their own jungle. So not the best tower to lose. 10 minutes into the game, and as expected after the team fight, the Dire team, the Anti-Mage as well the Wraith King leading the way in terms of net worth, 4.3k gold. After that really good team fight, Anti-Mage completed the power treads and will be looking to build up into that battlefield. He needs about 2,200 gold, so he's well on the way to become the monster that he will be in the mid to late game. Anti-Mage, of course, more popular for split pushing, not really a team fight hero, but as we saw earlier on, 4th June, make things happen with an early team fight. Coming in with the Mana Void and just absolutely decimating the early squishy heroes. Friends Gaming yet to get a kill on the board right now. Templar Assassin, it looks so promising as she was leading in terms of net worth. Now looking to go some aggression. Melthead coming onto Mr. D, but he's just very tanky right now. Does have the Bracer and Wooden to help in the movements in Refraction as well. Any TP is coming in to support the Kunkka. Looks like it's going to be a deep dive for Templar Assassin. Torrent misses. Ancient Helper trying to go aggressive, but surprisingly no supports coming in for the TP. And the Templar Assassin will just get that aggression and get out scot-free on that one. But they're pinging him out. Ice Path looking to land and will actually land on him. Turret to follow. No. In fact, actually, Jakiro committing the ultimate for that one, and it looks like he's going to pay the price of Venom Killer just being fogged. And as I say that, as we have the Ingestion mid, it looks like Bat Rider fell in the top lane, as the combination was the Wraith King as well as the Omni Knight combination. We saw earlier how dangerous it was, but over in the mid lane, we've got 3 heroes right now from the Radiant team, a Dire team as well, trying to defend this mid tier 1, and pings coming out. So they've got good vision of this, of what's happening. And let's see if they're going to come and punish this aggression. Look at the positioning. Really good positioning. Lion is already ready for the blink out. And there you go. As I was talking about the positioning, the blink out straight into the Lion. But it's a 2-man Ice Path catching by the Jakiro right there. But Finger of Death coming out means that the Anti-Mage will fall. But a 4-man Torrent coming in with the ship combo. But where's the follow-up? No, that's all they had. The Anti-Mage falls. That was some really good positioning by the Lion. Deciding to come over here, knowing that the Anti-Mage will blink out in that direction. So that's going to be the first kill, and a valuable kill it was too. That's about 300 gold in the pocket of the Lion, the Finger of Death. So immediately able to pick up the symmetries as well as the rewards. And looking at the vision right now for the Radiant team, not too good. The Dire team have got a bit more aggressive wards across the map. So it was interesting that they didn't follow up to that 4-man Torrent boat. In my opinion, they could have done some real damage to the economy of the Radiant team. But understandably, as the heroes were out of position, a bit too far to help the Anti-Mage. Really good game sense from the Lion in that play. "13 minutes into the game, back into this passive farming oriented lineup as we predicted, and Omni Knight is going to stick around over in this top lane, should get his levels up soon, does have that Guardian Angel up and ready. In fact, all supports have their ultimates and maps being drawn across the line. Let's see if anything comes out of this aggression. They're going to look to try to punish anyone coming in. TP from the Jakiro as it finally pops, the smoke pops, Ignite coming out onto the Kunkka, Impale as well, but it's a 2-man Ice Path once again from the Jakiro. Really clutch plays coming out. Kunkka able to get his ultimate out, double Vin in the backlines being there, so 1-for-1 trade right now before he clears a 2-for-1. Bat Rider is next to fall. Ancient Helper tries to run out from this. Repel coming out from the Omni Knight as well. That's going to be a kill onto the Lion. Templar Assassin juking it out and TP's out. And so it's a 3-for-0 trade buyback actually. 3-for-1 with a buyback coming out from the Kunkka. So interesting decision for him to buy back on that. Perhaps he thought the team fight would last a bit longer, but the smoke coming out from the Radiant team, they just had a little bit of a mistake as to the initiation. They didn't really have any vision in this area, so no reason to go high ground, and they're just going to pressure this immediately. Ice Path coming out onto Apex. 4th June being so aggressive. Wraith Blast as well. Apex will just melt to the damage coming up the Purification. X marks onto the Templar. Nope, melt will actually be able to disjoint most of the damage, and right now they've got to be careful. Omni Knight doesn't have any mana, but they're just looking to try to pressure this lane again. Once again, 2-man Ice Path coming out. Double Vin with a straight Wraith Blast onto Coste. That boat coming in from the backline. Mana Void is destroying off that Bat Rider. Now Templar Assassin goes on the map, but the dust immediately being popped in right now. That's another kill coming in as Double Vin is dominating right now on the Wraith King, and this is totally unexpected. Templar Assassin was doing so well in the early game, but unfortunately over into this mid game, she's just disappeared slightly, lacking in terms of farm. And you can see that right now, Knights of Hallucination are playing very confident, and they know their game plan. Late game, they've got it, no problem, but mid game as well. Jakiro, really the MVP in this recent team fights. McGeezak's coming out with those multiple hero ice paths. As we hit the 16-minute marker, having a quick look at the graphs in terms of XP, and it's not a pretty story for the Radiant team. Hugely in favor of Knights of Hallucination. As expected, looking at the kill score, it is 2-12. And it remains to be seen if there is any way for Friends Gaming to claw themselves out of this pit, try to make the best out of the situation, split push the lanes as much as they can. Tiny, of course, looking to go for in Aghanim Scepter. Oh, and as I say that, coming in aggression onto the anti-mage. So they spotted him out, and that's the revelation of the Blink Dagger. So they know the Tiny's got the Blink Dagger, they've got to be a little bit more careful with that. Sentry Ward being plopped out, but interestingly enough, decided to just walk away, so probably not having any high ground vision of that area. And yeah, not being able to see, just out of range. Radiant team congregating right now over on this bottom lane, but over on the top lane, we're looking some dive onto Cost Data. It's going to be the next kill, as it's a mega kill for the Wraith King. Being punished time and time again, the Bat Rider, just looking to try and farm up his Blink Dagger, but not being able to do so. Just being punished at every turn of the game. 2-13 right now. Templar Assassin gets a free tower over onto the mid lane as finally the tier 1 for the Dire team drops. It's the first tower that Friends Gaming have been able to claim, and that's just going to be able to help the Templar Assassin just try to get a little bit more gold. We'll have enough gold for her next item. Let's see what she decides to pick up, and let's see how she decides to reveal it. Aghanim Scepter completed already onto the Wraith King. And 1000 gold to spare as well. Interesting that he decided to go this as his first tier 3 item. Just power threads, Aghanim Scepter. Of course, the point booster provides you some valuable mana, considering that you are really dependent on it for the reincarnation. And right now, Headhunter showing himself on the top lane, trying to show some aggression. Let's see if there's anything coming up from this. They've already set down their wards, so they've got good vision. They've got good ideas of how many heroes are coming in. Another TP coming in as well. That's going to be from the Omni Knight. Wraith King coming in with the Wraith Fire Blast. Turn the Tiny. Ice Path as well coming out. So Headhunter, will he fall off this? Being brought down really flame back. Tries to push them back, but the repel on the Wraith King is just doing so much for the team right now. Cost Data doing his best to save his carry, but what can he do? Guardian Angel being popped right now. Both coming off the back line as well. Gonna hit it. Cost Data will pay. Apex as well will be the next to fall. And it looks like these two heroes, Ancient Helper as well as Venom Killer, are on the run right now. Wraith Fire Blast will hit him. X-Mark as well. Who will they go for? They decide to go for Templar Assassin instead, as a good 2-man Impale coming out, but it's not enough to save the Templar Assassin. As Purification comes out, and there's enough damage to cause for 4 heroes to drop on the Radiant side. Lion, the sole survivor. The one to tell the story of how his teammates just fell to the damage of Knights of Hallucination. And that's going to transition straight into a push on this top tier 1 tower. And Knights of Hallucination are just going to get that tower and push back, knowing that the heroes on the Radiant team will respawn really soon. About 15 seconds more for the Templar Assassin. And let's see what she went for. So she did go for the mobility item, spending the gold. So right now should just be looking to split push, looking to split farm, because obviously they're losing team fight after team fight. And let's see how Friends Gaming will want to approach this. They need to protect their jungle. They have absolutely very little knowledge if any hero decides to come and invade the jungle. There's no other safe place to farm as Tiny looking to go into possibly what is an Echo Saber. We'll pick up the Bounty Rune. Yeah, that will be the beginnings of it as Oblivion stuff is being picked up. Anti-Mage himself, 19 minutes into the game, already completed a Battle Fury, and also the Vladimir's offering already complete. So that, if I'm not mistaken, stacks with the Vampiric Aura. So there's even more lifesteal coming up for these melee heroes. So maybe Knights of Hallucination had a plan all along. but they're playing very well, playing objective-based gaming, securing the objectives, backing off, not overextending. But they've got to be careful, as this provides a little bit more space for that Tiny to farm up on his next items. Being able to clear out creep waves really quickly, but of course that, blink forward, X-Torrent just missing, as that repel able to prevent any initiation coming out of him. And right now, let's see if there's going to be a response coming out from the Radiant team. Looks like they will look to try to scout things out. They've got to be very careful of this. And the first to pop the smoke will be the Wraith King. Immediate blink forward, as well as Avalanche Toss combo coming up. Repel so fast coming up from the Omni Knight. Impale straight onto the Omni Knight. But look at the anti-mage dealing so much damage. And already the Tiny False Guardian Angel coming out. Both hits nothing. But right now they can just continue the aggression. It's a 2-for-0 trade right now. Batrider gets a good Flaming Lasso. Apex will fall over on the other side of the river. X-Mark as well. So there's only the Batrider next to fall. Templar Assassin, Big Bot on Low Assassin. Angel Help will be the next one to fall. Man of What giving him. Constellator will be the next one to fall. Will this be a team wipe right now? Yes, it is a team wipe. 5-for-0. Very interesting that they decided to go for that uphill push when you've got to consider they didn't have any vision. So if their smoke breaks, they have no idea where the heroes will potentially be. And the positioning from Knights of Hallucination was just really good. And able to split that fight up into exactly the way that they wanted. So right now the bottom tier 2 tower going to be next to fall. And look at that. Immediately tier 2 tower and backing off, not looking to push the aggression, not looking to risk the high ground. They know the objectives and they know that they've got this secure in the game. Looking at the graphs, it tells obviously the same story that we already know from the kill score, 15,000 in both XP and net worth. Looking over at the items progression, Ancient Helper not really having much progression, but that is to be expected as the Radiant team are very starved for farm right now. Knights of Hallucination, on the other hand, have the whole map to farm. Look at the vision right now on that minimap. Some really good vision coming out, and the Radiant is just being starved out right now. No space for them to farm. Not even safe in their own jungle, as they're pinging out the anti-mage, but no aggression coming out. No way of interrupting that stun. So anti-mage being able to play very aggressive right now. Completed up that Yasha, so looking to go into the Manta style, unless he wants to go for the SNY build, which I highly doubt. 22 minutes into the game, 2-for-22. They should just let Friends Gaming get a kill just so the score will be 3-2-2. But right now Friends Gaming finding it hard just to even secure farm for their own heroes. Looking at the net worth, the anti-mage is almost doubling that Templar Assassin, so he's doing very well. Lines being drawn on the map, indicating next positioning. Pings coming out as well. Ancient Helper a little bit far out of position. We'll be able to just head back and once again continue this farm. Batrider still a little bit far from the Blink Dagger. Instead has decided to go for the 4-star first. But of course it remains to be seen if he can even complete the item. Knights of Hallucination grouping up right now over on this mid lane, looking to pressure it. Interestingly enough, they're looking to glyph that, so they won't have the glyph for the high ground push. And looking to go for the deny, and will not be able to get it, of course. The damage from the Wraithing a little bit too much for the line to compete with. Let's see if Knights of Hallucination will want to go for the high ground push, but no, once again, objective and back, objective and back. That is the game plan right now for Knights of Hallucination. Playing very safe in this single elimination game. And it's just out of range, to be honest. So not being able to spot that out. They are pinging in, however. Good Ice Path coming in, getting the Ogre Magi, looking to try to engage things. Wraith King being the buffer right now. Let's see if they're going to continue. Instead, they just fall back as a side trap, just slows down the Wraith King a little bit. And all the while, Tiny being given space over in the top lane. Let's see what happens right now. Knights of Hallucination. Will they want to push or will they want to fall back and defend? Templar Assassin, melt hit. Blink back as well, just in case the Wraith Fire Blast comes in, and it will come in, but it goes on the Batrider. Constellator in a lot of trouble right now. BK being popped, Mr. D coming on the backline, Torrent, and both doesn't really hit anything. So that's a fail both, but Templar Assassin now being caught up, being able to blink out with the refraction, of course, and the ultimate being committed as well from the Jakiro. So Apex with the first one to fall, Mana Void being casted but not even completed. Guardian Angel now coming out, impale onto two heroes. Right now Tiny has to TB back around, aggression coming in onto Templar Assassin, going to chase him, refraction charges, trying to help as much as he can. X Mark onto Costator on the Bad Rider, will be the next to fall, but Tiny coming in with that avalanche and being able to bring on anti-mage low. Costator trying to do the best he can with that Flaming Nestle, but will fall. Right now it's Wicked 6 streak for that Wraith King and will be a double kill, as next to fall is the Lion, and heroes falling like flies right now. Chain Feed coming in, Double Win, don't forget he's got the ultimate, so he won't even die after this. Reincarnation finally being popped, Apex coming in, Ignite coming onto 2, Ancient Helper doing the best he can with the damage, but this is not enough damage coming out from him. He needs more DPS, and right now goes in the melt, but the torrent coming in will reveal him, and right now Wraith King with that ultimate Aghanim Scepter will just be able to get a Kunkka to himself. So Kunkka will finally drop, but right now Doubleman is a little bit deep into the game right now. Headhunter is far up ahead, being able to catch the back lines of that Jakiro. So all in all, it's a very long team fight right now. And Doublevin, will he pay the price? Yes, he will. But of course, don't forget the Aghanim Scepter is still there, able to get the kill onto Headhunter if he so desires. One more crit. Now Blink disjoint, so finally he will die after the effects of the Reincarnation Aghanim Scepter upgrade. So I guess this is what Knights of Hallucination were trying to avoid, pushing high ground so far up that they pushed all the way here, and they didn't really get any objective that they wanted. Instead, although they did get kills, it did give a little bit of space right now for Friends Gaming to actually secure a bit of farm, especially on that Tiny who's completed the Echo Saber. Comeback is always possible, let's not forget, and it looks like Tiny already about 1,000 gold away from his Aghanim's Scepter. Immediate Manta dodge coming in, but that craggy exterior just causing problems for that Anti-Mage. And they know that the Anti-Mage does have that Manta completed.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
$25-5 right now the score in favor of Knights of Hallucination, 27 minutes into the game. As we're back into this farming pattern, this just gives more space for Friends Gaming to find a little bit more farm. They got the Dragonlance completed up onto Ancient Helper. One more damage item, either in the form of a Yasha or even a Crystallis, will be able to do so much. We saw the potential of the DPS coming out from the Tiny as well as Templar Assassin in that previous fight. Having a quick look at the item progression over on the side of the Dire. They've got the mechanism already completed on the Knight, BKB as well. We saw that in the last team fight for the Wraith King. Jakiro looking to perhaps go into that 4-star. Does have the Ring of Regeneration, and Mr. D on the Kunkka. He's missed a few boats, missed a few torrents, but all is well. Does have the Blink Dagger and drums. Probably an armlet coming out from him next. Nighttime now. Let's see what they want to do with this. Roshan is always a possibility, but they've got to be really careful of this. Anti-Mage just slowly getting to a critical point. Will perhaps complete the Butterfly soon. Does have 3.4k gold. Might even decide to go for the BKB.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But they need some way to control that Tiny. They need to make sure they focus the disables onto the Tiny. Himself completed the Aghanims already. 2.2k HP. Craggy exterior. A very hard hero to hit. And with the Bloodlust, we'll be able to have some really good attack speed. Oh, looks like a scan being used, so they are aware of that. And let's see what the decision is coming out right now from Knights of Hallucination. This is the vision that you see on the Radiant team. No real vision, so they've got to be very careful. They don't have any idea what's happening. But as I say, that Blink forward coming in for the Wraith King. Apex will be the first to fall. But that's okay. Let Apex die. Let the support die. That's okay. BKB baited. One hero out. At least the Tiny and the Templar Assassin still survive. 26 for 2, 26 for 5 right now. Knights of Hallucination really have this in their hands, but of course they've got to be careful, and Friends Gaming will just have to play as carefully as they can. keep hoping that only the supports die and that the cores will survive.
Missing middle.
Quick blink back there from the Wraith King, just avoiding any damage. Of course, he's also able to play very aggressively as he's got 3 levels into the reincarnation as we talked about. It's about 60 seconds downtime on it, so more than happy to just see if we can find any positioning to take advantage of for his team. Essentially, the Wraith King will be the frontliner of Knights of Hallucination. He will try to tank up as much of the damage as possible, especially when in combined with the Coco's Rum coming out from Kunkka. Just gives the anti-mage a little bit more space to target the backliners. The Lion and the Batrider, very fragile heroes. Templar Assassin, of course, not a very useful hero once the refraction is down. Has already completed that BKB as well. So the next fight should be relatively even though the net worth and the XP graph tell a different story. It looks like if Friends Gaming are able to play this carefully, they're just able to utilize this positioning as much as possible. And right now, very interesting. They're pinging it out. They've got vision of this. So let's see if they engage onto the Wraith King first. Yes, Ice Path misses everything. BKB being popped right now. And finally, the boat comes in from Kunkka. But Forstaff actually saving Apex from that boat. So he's able to avoid the damage coming out. Venom Killer right now is in trouble. Will he get a 2-man impale coming out? Purification as well. The Wraith King bus will finally mean that the Lion will fall. Toss coming out on Jakiro. But of course, the Aghanim Scepter from the Wraith King, allowing the Jakiro to just contribute a little bit more into the scene fight as much as possible. Guardian Angel being popped, and right now Headhunter is on a killing spree, finding the Jakiro in the backline, who finally drops Flaming Lasso coming out right now onto the Wraith King, but the Repel is there as well. Cost Data, what can he do? He's not trying to run out this as much as he can. Just try to survive, but already the X-Mark comes in. TP as well, not being able to complete as the Wraith Fire Blast just cancels it. But the X-Mark was already there, so it means it's a 3-for-1 trade. But again, this means the Templar Assassin and the Tiny survive, and that is key right now for Friends Gaming. They need as much space as possible for the TA as well as the Tiny. And let's see how they want to go about this. As it looks to be a sort of a split push coming in right now from Knights of Hallucination, mid and bottom. Tiny will clear those waves very quickly with the Aghanim Scepter. Venom Killer sticking very close to him. Perhaps needs to work a little bit on his positioning. Looks like they're not going to push this aggression. They're just going to go back, see if they can find any other objectives. Pinging out the rune. So that's going to be a very useful rune to be used. And immediately... well, they have an idea that it is happening, and let's see if they will be able to respond. Tiny still pushing on this top lane. The vision from the Dire team. So they're able to see that the Tiny is showing mid once again, just pushing out the waves as much as he can. Will there be a contest coming out for this? Right now, let's see. But already Roshan has fallen. Anti-Mage picking up the Aegis. Fire Blast coming out, Repel not in time, Blink forward from the Wraith King, BKB as well, Anti-Mage as well, looking to go for the Apex. They should just go back right now. They should just head back, but Venom Killer instead being caught by the Torrent as well as the X-Path, but Headhunter is in deep in the backline. So right now the fight being split into two, as Wraith King chasing on one end, and I'm not sure where to focus. Let's just look here. Batrider trying to go for Flaming, so Mana Void finally coming out, and that will be the Batrider to drop 3 for nothing right now. Blink forward, BKB as well from the Templar Assassin. Melt the hit as well. They're going for the aggression right now, trying to see if she can drop any one of these heroes as soon as possible. But already the Tiny will be next to fall, as the Liquid Fire will mean that he will die, and Templar Assassin surviving. So right now, that fight splitting all the way from here to here. As interesting positioning from both teams. Pinging it out, 4th June. Right now, let's see if he's able to do anything. Does have the Aegis, so can play aggressively, Repel as well. But the creep wave still being stuck here means that they're not able to just push past that backdoor protection. Oh, blink forward, immediate melt coming out, no invis reveal. Double Vin right now will have to be BKBs are being permitted, so right now that's a BKB being baited. How many seconds left? He has on that. He's got about 5-second BKB now on him. So he's got to be careful with his positioning. They do have the Aegis, so it's interesting that they don't make use of this. They should really look to see if they can get racks out of this. Considering the Tiny was still out for about 20 seconds earlier on, but instead it looks like Knights of Hallucination will just look to continue to farm. As Anti-Mage with his BKB of his own, 3.5k gold as well in his own. Just keep looking to split push, looking to make the most of the space afforded to him right now by Friends Gaming. $3.8k gold, and it looks like Wraith King gonna build into the Heart of Tarask. Does have the Reaver as well as Vit booster up and ready over in the mid lane, looking for a fight right now. Looks like Mana Void coming out on Tiny, but not enough. BKB falls to. He does have the Aegis, but instead Ancient Helper is the one that is trapped in that Ice Path and will not pursue the aggression. But instead, it's Blink Forward coming in from the Wraith King, gets a good very fire blast onto Ancient Helper, so that's good stuff. But BKB being popped left, right, and center right now. Fulgin trying to do the best but damage he can. Doesn't have the BKB anymore. Double Vince BKB is running out right now. Costator trying to do the best he can. Apex is being targeted. Venom Killer being button really low. X marked coming in as well as the board being able to hit onto Costator as a Bad Rider will be the first casualty of this team fight. Apex should be next to 4 and will do so. Unstoppable right now with the Anti-Mage finger coming out, but there's not enough damage on the side. The Radiant team will be the next one to fall, will be the Lion. It's a 3-0. Blink Forward Aegis finally being expanded. It's a double kill coming out right now for the Anti-Mage. Already a killing spree. 4 heroes drop, Aegis being popped. This means that it is at least 2 lanes of racks that Knights of Hallucination will be able to get. They should be able to get mega creeps from this. Ancient Hyper will not be able to do anything right now. Blinks forward, this is suicide. What are you doing, Templar Assassin? And he just explodes. That was not worth it, and actually, there you go, GG being called. And right now, I'll hand you over to our MC, Kycer.